Hello, friends. It's an honor once again to welcome you back to Rick's Garage. Today, I want to talk to you about these nasty components to your car called timing belts. Timing belts, as far as I know, were first used in the early 1970s, but I know in American cars they started using timing belts with the Pintos and those awful cars called Vegas. Chevy Vegas. The use of timing belts continued up until the late 1990s, early 2000s. And then the manufacturers started to get away from them a little bit. They started putting in timing chains. Timing chains are a lot more reliable than the timing belt. The service intervals are less frequent. Also, they had these motors called interference motors. Now, the difference between an interference motor and a non-interference motor is an interference motor when the valve is fully deployed and the piston is at its top. They will collide with each other, causing damage to the motor. Now, the only time this can happen is when the timing belt breaks while the motor is running. The purpose of this video today is to caution you against buying these type of vehicles. There are still vehicles today that utilize a timing belt, and there are many vehicles on the road that have an interference motor. So there are two questions you need to ask before you buy any vehicle, new, used, or otherwise. Question number one: does it have a timing belt or a timing chain? If it does indeed have a timing belt, then the next question you need to ask is it an interference motor? If you have a timing belt car with an interference motor, stay the hell away from it. Now, the car you see here in front of you belongs to a family friend. You may have seen me working on it from time to time. This young lady just brought it in for me to change the oil for her. And I was looking at her owner's manual and noticed that she was overdue to have the timing belt replaced. So I told her that she could possibly ruin her motor if she doesn't have the timing belt replaced. Well, the problem is, to replace the timing belt on this car, it's upwards of $800-900, maybe as much as $1,000 to replace the belt. She doesn't have the money. She's been saving some money that she wants to use to buy a new car, and she was going to combine her savings with her expected income tax returns next year to trade this car in for a new one. Well, now, this is October. She's not going to get her income tax till probably sometime in February or March of next year. So now she has to make a decision. Does she chance continuing to drive the car and possibly ruin her motor? Or does she spend nearly $1,000 to have this timing chain replaced, which they're probably not going to give her much more than that on a trade-in for this car? The purpose of this video is to caution you against buying such vehicles. Most of the modern cars today have timing chains. The timing chain is pretty reliable, and you really don't have to worry about it breaking and ruining your motor. But Ford, as late as this car, 2015, still saw fit to continue to use timing belt on interference motors. So that's all I've really got for today. I just want to caution you about purchasing such vehicles that have timing belts and interference motors. The two questions you need to ask, like I said before, is does it have a timing belt or does it have a timing chain? Now, all this information is readily available on Google. You don't have to take the dealer or the seller's word for it. So Google the car, Google the motor, and ask if it has an interference motor or a non-interference motor, and ask if it has a timing belt or a timing chain. And if you do, in fact, find out that the car you're considering for purchase does indeed have a timing belt with an interference motor, like I said before, stay the hell away from it. So thank you very much for watching Rick's Garage. Before I go, I'm going to post two videos to your left. Feel free to click on one of the others should you find them of interest. And to your right, it'll be a picture of my trusty avatar in the form of my German Shepherd. Feel free to click on that if you wish to subscribe. So thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you again really, really soon.